Hi Laila, it's Miss Strather, and welcome to the screencast of your final exam project essay. What I'm doing is first taking your essay and putting it into Word because it will just be easier for me to show you a couple of things. The first thing that really struck me is that it's not double spaced, and also your heading is all over the place, which is not like you. So I was trying to figure out what's going on. Let's do this. It looks to me like you're doing a lot of tabbing and a lot of spacing. And the way you can see that kind of thing is by clicking on that button right there, the paragraph button. It should be very simple. There should not be a lot of spaces. I don't want to see period 5. You already have English 9. You should have my name now. Of course, if I could spell it correctly. It's okay, I'm changing it soon anyway. Okay, let's get rid of all that. And this should be in the center. So on Word, you can push Control E. On Google Drive, you need to go and find this button, the center button. Okay, and then you shouldn't have any spaces right there. You should be clicking Tab. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off so it doesn't drive me crazy. And I can go through and start looking for just like basic errors, basic things that are pretty clear. So I've already got points coming off for that. So you want to go through and find the things that are just really simple that would make your point value higher on your essay. So for example, I can see that we have an issue here where you need to italicize the Odyssey. Put quotations around thank you, ma'am. A temporary matter should have quotation marks around it. However, interpretive malady should be italicized. And is everyone hanging out without me should also be italicized. So make sure you're doing that. And all of these times here that you say books/stories, that's too informal for an essay. It's fine in everyday conversation and in proprioceptive writing, informal kinds of writing, but not so much in an essay. Okay, again, every time you see those, you gotta work on those all the way down. I can see that you are doing your parenthetical insect text citations well, so that's good. Okay. Looks like, yep, you need one more body paragraph there. Always push Tab instead of doing spaces. Just make sure you got a space there in between those. Let's see, maybe up here too. Yep, space in between your quotation mark and your parentheses for your in-text citations. Have not been given Gilgamesh. Well, since it's not in your thesis statement, then you definitely don't need to put that in there. Okay, I haven't seen any major issues with contractions or so far using personal pronouns. Now that you have, or that I've double spaced it, you still only have 3 pages, so we're not hitting the 5 pages yet. Okay. So hold on just a second. Okay, and the one other issue I see is that you want to make that works cited page. Now, it's only 2 points, but 2 out of 70 starts to make an impact. So I'm going to read your I'm going to read your introduction, your conclusion, and 1 body paragraph. So let's start. Women's roles in society have evolved throughout the ages. With this, has their role in literature evolved as well? Let's change that. With this, their role in literature has evolved as well. Just a little more, it just flows a little bit better. No longer are women viewed as something on a man's arm. Be specific. What do you mean by something? Maybe you could use sort of an expression and say as a jewel or as a charm, maybe I'm trying to think of a different word for thing, but you'll find something. On a man's arm, but is strong, courageous, maybe we could say independent human beings, so that they are separate from the man. I would say stories instead of books. Stories in which the change in women can be compared are The Odyssey by Homer, Thank You Man by Langston Hughes, A Temporary Matter from Interpreter of Maladies, and Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me and Other Concerns by Mindy Kaling. Okay, when it says to introduce all of the books in your introduction, and this is one way you're going to extend your essay and get into those 5 to 7 pages, is by including a 1-sentence description of each book. And you're basically doing that because you are truly introducing the books. You should not be having a whole lot of narrative in your paragraphs. You should have much more analysis. And so the way that you are telling the reader what the story is about is by going ahead and putting that in your introduction. So you can have this sentence because this is great. Stories in which the change in women can be compared are. Now, then you want to actually start here and say, The Odyssey, maybe just The Odyssey, is a story or an epic poem about a man named Odysseus who fights nature and the gods' will to get home to his family from the war at Troy. Maybe I'd say spends 20 years fighting nature or battling nature and the gods' will to get home to his family from the war at Troy. However you want to do that, then you start with the next book. So you've got here, you should have 4 additional sentences. Okay, but this is true. These books, these stories, all have female characters that either play the only role or significant role. They do? Actually, take out very, because significant is very on its own. So you don't need to have very significant. It's redundant. My concern for this is that the Odyssey's female character does not play a significant role. She is definitely part of the story, but she plays a minor role, which is part of how you will probably be proving that women have changed over time from being insignificant in the Odyssey to being the main character in Mindy Kaling's book. So reconsider this statement right here. Reconsider that. Okay, in the past, women were depicted in literature as weak and unstable, but writing reflects society, and as the world changed, so did how women are shown in stories. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, we are going to just do this paragraph where I'm starting to get behind in time. So, how about if we have a true topic sentence? Because I know for a fact that you do not want to spend your entire paragraph proving to me that she is not written as an evil old witch, but as a wise and helpful woman. You want to be proving in this thesis statement that writing reflects society and women have changed. How women are shown in stories has changed. That is precisely what you are going to be proving throughout your entire essay. So your topic sentence needs to somehow reflect this and be specific that it's going to be in Thank You, Ma'am. Okay, she does not tell him to get out of there or call the police, but instead tells him that what he is doing is wrong. She tries to turn it into more of a teaching moment, but also show him that she can understand that he may not have been raised the right way. You ought to be my son. I would teach you right from wrong. She's a strong woman who knows who she is and what she has to offer. And she sees that she can help a troubled kid help better himself for the future. She's not weak in the slightest and was among the first female characters of African American descent to be shown in literature as independent and not merely as the help, which we talked about. So that is perfect because that is your analysis right here. This is also analysis. So try to reduce the amount of narrative that you have right here, because that is a lot of narrative for such a short quotation. Again, I want you to focus on your analysis, so that your analysis, which is good, very good here, is at least twice as long as your quotation itself. Okay, gotta get quickly through this. I'm sorry. I just have limited time. Okay, how does... I think maybe you want to swap these. I think you want to swap these two quotations to say that this is towards the beginning of the story. Well, you didn't have to snatch my pocketbook to get some suede shoes. You could have asked me. I guess that's not true. That is at the end. She's independent. And maybe it's a shock that she just offers, that she says she would offer it to him. I like this a lot. She's independent at a time where many women had to ask for the money they needed. Okay, we got one more. I were young once and I wanted things I could not get. I have done things too which I would not tell you. She has done things in the past which she regrets and now uses. What she has gone through as a means to help others not go down the same path. Very, very nice. Now, I would like to know how that is going back to your thesis statement. So really what you need to do is begin your very first body paragraph needs to be about the Odyssey, so that you can show in subsequent paragraphs that things have changed from then till now. I think that would be the easiest. Okay. I'm going to your conclusion with my 3 minutes left. In the past, women were depicted in literature as weak and unstable, but writing reflects society, and as the world changed, so did how women are shown in stories. In the Odyssey, which you will italicize, Penelope's only role is to be forlorn for her husband and wish for his return. Look at you, you got that first off in your intro and conclusion, so do that in your essay too. In the story, Thank You, Ma'am, Miss Jones is a strong, independent woman who uses the mistake of her past to help better people's futures. In a temporary matter, a woman finds the voice to do what she has felt for a long time, to help with the absence in her heart of losing a child. Beautiful. In Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me, Mindy Kaling describes her success as writing for a TV show. Okay, how about success in writing for a TV show and the impact that women throughout her life have had and how it has made her the intelligent woman she is today. The whole point of literature is to make you think, and while reading, okay, maybe you want to say one of the byproducts of reading is thinking. I don't know if I want to say the whole point. That tends to be more informal, sort of colloquial, so try to find a different way to say that. And while reading these books that show women in such different lights, comparing their situation or situations and what they have accomplished, very nice word, is a great way to strengthen your mind. Whoa, I like that. Maybe you want to say strengthen your mind and talks just something very quick, very quick about how it helps not only strengthen our minds, but also open up our worldview to equalize gender roles in our society, so that literature is reflecting culture back once more again. Okay, you're writing really well. Very, very well. Focus on those minor things, the italics, the quotation marks, the topic sentences, adding into your introduction. Your conclusion looks great. Work on those body paragraphs and let me know if you have any questions. But this is going very well, and I look forward to reading your final.